again, a very important template. And using this template, many of my clients have gone and actually written articles where they have got accolades from their colleagues and from magazines. They have written on LinkedIn posts, which has been received very warmly by the audience, and a lot of things. Of course, people are writing books using the same concept. So this is like a base template. Of course, there are advanced template, but here what we do is, if you see, there's this introduction. Okay. And this mind map I'll be sharing with you on the last day. For all the finishers, whatever mind maps I'm using, I'll be sending it to you through a Google Drive. You will be getting the templates as promised. So introduction, now we know that introduction and conclusion is very important, because that is the primacy, and then the last one is the recency. So in introduction, if you use this kind of map, in the third stage, first you have done speed mapping, so you roughly have an idea that what are the things you want to put in your speech or in your article or whatever that content you're creating. Second, you have revised, so you have the revised idea, then you took some break, and now you come and do something like this. You make a mind map. So in the mind map, let's say you're writing an article, so introduction. So the opening can be a metaphor, a phrase, or a quote, whether it's a speech or an article. Here I'm giving you an example of article. So maybe you can use a very beautiful quote that starts with a bang for whatever article you're writing, or maybe some phrase. And then what you do is you give them a roadmap. Okay, if you see that the articles come with, okay, in this article you are going to know about this, or I'm going to discuss with you 5 points about this. So some kind of hook. You understand hook? That the moment they read, after the opening first 1 or 2 sentence, the moment they read the next sentence, they are engrossed in it. They cannot leave your content. They want to see it more. So you create a hook kind of thing. Next is you also give them a objective, that after reading this entire article, or after reading this, listening to this piece of content, what is that they are going to learn? So some objective. And this is all you do before actual writing of the script. This mind map, you can make it like this. Okay, I'll be using this metaphor, or maybe no, I'll not use a metaphor. I'll rather use a quote, or I'll be writing a phrase. Then you decide upon the hook. What will be the hook of my entire article? And then you claim something. Now there is again even the claim is a very good hook. Sometimes what happens is you try to say that, see why reading this article will give you this benefit, or reading this article is so important for this particular aspect. Or you say that with an authority, that you have the authority to share your perspective in that particular field. Now suppose you are a authority, like suppose you're a marriage counselor and you know about this, and that is why you're writing this article. And you start with something, from 20 years of my experience in counseling people in this particular line, and then I know this. Or you make a very strong judgment kind of, need. You raise a need that these are the unsolved pain that is lying there with you. And when you read this article, you are targeting to solve those unsolved, or you're addressing those unsolved pain in that person. So whatever it is, you need to claim, whether it's the importance of the article, the need for the article, or you as an authority in that field. So all these things when together, it blends in the introduction. Your introduction is going to be very strong, leaving a primacy effect on whoever is going to read it. The next, you have to grab the attention. They should not leave after the introduction, right? The second thing, the second paragraph, or the second part of your story, or whatever you're creating. You can either address the mindset, or you can bust some myth, or whatever. You have to give a very strong argument, something that, okay, this is the normal thing, and this is what I'm going to talk to you is completely opposite of that. And then you directly attack with an argument, or you present some myth, like debunking the myths, or the mindsets, attacking the mindset that yes, you have to unlearn this to learn this. So some kind of argument backed by research. Now you just cannot go and tell people that this is what I feel and this is my perspective. Of course, that's one way of writing, but even then it has to be backed by some sort of research. Now the research could be from your own research, from your own experience after interacting maybe with 10, 15, or 100 people. It could be from books that you read. It could be from personal interaction. So it could be any form of research. And of course, you also have to name some very good sources, because if you're doing a research, you have to name those sources. So you have to grab the attention. People automatically, the left brain people, they will be more interested when they see some kind of arguments, when they see some kind of research. All right. And then you have to also address the people who are right brain. Okay. And whether left brain or right brain people, every human being on this planet, they are very much engrossed by stories. You have to tell some kind of story, maybe personal or something that you have witnessed. So some examples, some stories with a small twist, kind of one restore effect. There should be some small twist in your story. Nothing very dramatic, but you have to add that VR element. And it could be, quite asking questions or challenging something, asking them their perspective. And once all those emotions, at least one of the emotion of the reader, or whoever is the consumer of your content, you touch that nerve, that emotion, you got to conclude. And in the conclusion, you have to have a link. If you see from conclusion, there's a link to the opening. And what is that link? That in the opening, you have used a metaphor or a phrase or a quote that must be, linked back to the conclusion, and you have to restate it, but in a different way. You cannot use the same sentence, but you have to build that, okay, this is the way I started, and I gave all those stories and emotions and research and arguments. And now I'm restating that, yes, I have established that point, or no, I have not established that point, but I leave it to you for your understanding, that what is your perspective. Whichever way you do, you have to restate and somehow make a connect to the first. And then you conclude the normal conclusion with a specific call to action. Now the call to action could be just that, okay, think about it, or what is your perspective. Even that is a call to action. So this is a mind mapping template that I have created for writing irresistible pieces of content, and it has worked wonders for a lot of my clients who were not writing anything before, but they take this template, they follow this, and they use those 7 effects. All right, that 7 effects of the most important graph, they mind map. And then after that, when they sit for writing even 1000 or 2000 words takes just like, once you have this map ready with you, all you have to do is just type or write down your article or whatever you want to create. So this is something I really wanted to show you today, because it's so very close to my heart. It has been created with a lot of understanding of the entire process of what goes into writing, and it works wonder. That's what I can say. This is very close to my heart, and I want you also to use it and make it your own. Like for example, when you are writing an article, instead of writing opening, you can write down, okay, I'm going to use this particular metaphor, and you just write down, I'm going to use this particular hook. So whatever it is, you customize it according to you, and take this as and make it your own. So how is it? Is this going to be useful? Okay, it's fantabulous. Thank you. Thank you. So please use it, because I feel it's so important that we don't waste a lot of time just thinking about what to write. I have seen a lot of people, just to write 500 words. And it used to happen with me also when I was not using mind mapping unnecessarily. Just thinking that takes a lot of time. But right now, it doesn't take time, because I know that I just have to use mind map. And regularly, if I use mind map, my brain will start, thinking creatively. It's like a magic formula. Exactly. So use this, make it your own,